he finished the little book all on his own. And when he was done, he looked up at me and I said, "Do you realize you read every word in that book all by yourself?" And I thought he was going to start to cry. His little freckles and his smile got so big. And it was just, it was so sweet. And I'm like, I dig this stuff.
Welcome to HR in the Car. Each ride is a journey through culture, appreciation, and recognition as we share the real stories of the people who make District 109 schools thrive. From staff who inspire, to parents who care, to community partners who support, these conversations remind us that education isn't built by programs, it's driven by people. This is HR in the Car, where stories drive purpose.
All right, welcome to episode number 3 of HR in the Car. So today I'm riding with someone who has been a quiet force of excellence. Deerfield 109 for more than 25 years. It's Robin Tortorella, intensive teacher assistant at Shepherd Middle School. Robin is a teammate every educator hopes for. When I was a teacher teaching middle school science, we would have been a dream team if we were in the same class together. She works seamlessly with teachers and families, supports IEP goals with compassion and precision, and helps students build confidence and independence through her patience, skill, and her unwavering belief in what they can achieve. Her calm presence, her intuition, her ability to connect with students, especially those with unique learning needs, are what make inclusive classrooms truly work. Simply put, Robin is one of the very best at what she does, and today we get to celebrate her story, her impact, and the heart she brings to our district every single day. So buckle up, because on this episode of HR in the Car, we're riding one of the best people who make 109 an extraordinary place to learn and work, the one and only Robin Tortorella.
I'm gonna cry.
It's kind of the goal, isn't it? So I present to you,
Yes.
to keep that whistle wet while we're out here driving, McDonald's Diet Coke, no ice. You got to tell me what's the story.
You know
behind
what?
that?
I just don't like flat pop. I
Really?
don't like anything flat.
And you think the ice brings it flat?
Yes,
I was unaware of this.
totally. It kills the flavor. And McDonald's goes to great lengths to make their Coke. Seriously, Google it.
Yeah.
They add extra syrup. They have it cold filtered. They actually have extra carbonation. They have their own, like, McDonald's
Special
yes.
concoction.
I've waited all morning for this.
There you go, buddy. All right, let's get the wheels rolling. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. So question number 1, are you ready for this one?
Uh-huh.
All right. This is one of my favorite to ask because it gets outside of like what we do in the classrooms every day. So what song always makes you roll down the windows and sing in the car?
Just about anything AC/DC and Def Leppard. When my kids were younger, we would, coming from the grocery store, whatever, AC/DC would come on.
So you're really like AC/DC, Def Leppard, back to the hair metal bands of the early.
Yes.
Robin, you were already high in my heart. You just went to another level. I have an entire playlist on Spotify that's Dale Shameless hair metal songs. Absolutely. I will share with you.
those songs with me. I have plenty of them. I've seen Def Leppard and AC/DC in concert.
This is the highlight of my day.
My first concert when I was 16, Led Zeppelin.
I'm embarrassed. I'm going to admit it. So everyone on camera is going to hear this. You want to know what Dale's first concert was? I can't believe I'm sharing this. New Kids on the Block. 8th grade, middle school.
Okay, so you were.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. In 8th grade, middle school, I wasn't really bringing any A game to situations here. So I thought it would have some type of social impact. No surprise, it did not. All right. Question number 2. What's one small thing your students or maybe your colleagues do that always makes you smile?
You know what? When I walk down the hall and a student will say, "Hi, Miss T," that that makes my day, that they know who I am.
So why do you think that is?
Because I'm friendly.
There's more to it than that. Don't you just have that type of disposition? People just want to be around you.
Well, not always, but, you know, when the 8th grade classes leave, I cry at graduation because they're moving on, and it's a beautiful thing, but it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss them."
Well, I mean, you know that I was a former middle school teacher,
Yes.
and when I came to the district, I was a middle school principal, not at Shepherd, but over at Caruso. And I have that same feeling when kids move on because there's no bigger transition. So I truly understand it. It makes sense. But I do think, like, I know your personality. I know why people are drawn to you. It's because you care. And when they feel that, that connection is genuine. It's valid. It validates their belief in how humans should interact. So I think you need to hear that. What is it about working at Shepherd Middle School that makes it such a special place for you and for the people who choose to be a part of that school community? And I ask you this because Shepherd has a very unique family sense to it every time I'm in that building. Tell me about that.
I've started at Walden for a few years, great environment. Kipling for 8, another great environment. Shepherd now almost 16, and the people I work with, my staff, coworkers, our custodian, they are all just an incredible bunch of people to work with. We care about each other. There's a lot of us that do spend time outside of work with one another. So our relations do carry beyond
Yeah.
school.
It becomes a bit of a family.
I'm retiring, so I can't speak highly enough about them. I really can't.
I think it has everything to do with that real strong sense of what I call family. Like educators have this on a base level, a desire to be connected to those they work with because we're sharing, they're not our biological kids, but obviously, we're close to them. And when we're each have a niche role to play in their development, who was a teacher, mentor, or colleague that made the biggest impact on you and how?
Rosie Mashevich,
Oh, one of the
who
best. Tell me, give me more.
she was at Shepherd when I transferred there in 2010. In the SAS program, which it's known as dealing with the most difficult students
And
in
the
the
SAS
district.
program was an acronym for social academic skills.
Thank you, because we always just said SAS.
SAS.
We're the sassy girls. That was it. I learned so much from Rosie. I still learn. She and I were actually talking on the phone last night. I run ideas, thoughts by her still, and she's retired, what, almost 8, 9, actually 10 years.
That feels like she just left
She
a couple
just
months
left.
ago. That's the impact she had.
Her knowledge of how to deal with students who have behavior issues, emotional issues. She's phenomenal. I learned a lot from her.
What brought you to this district and what's kept you here? This will
Um,
give me a good story.
you know what? Moved to Deerfield in 1994. Kids were still teens when they started back at school. I wasn't at home when they started at school. It's like, I need a job. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a cool place to be. And I had the same schedule as my kids. It gave me an in as to, oh, this is what the curriculum, and I paid more attention to what was going on since I was part of the community.
Because the connection was
The
there.
connection was there. And my kids, Wilmot, Caruso, DHS, and they are doing great. They know they got a great education in this district. I know they got a great education. So that's what kept me there.
It all comes full circle. How would your students or your coworkers, colleagues describe you with 3 words?
Um, I think they think I'm a little goofy.
Keep going.
And I think they would say I can high expectations be one word?
Yeah.
High
We'll hyphenate it for you.
Hyphenated.
Yeah.
Caring people, my students, the school.
So I want to say the goofy part, like the goofy to me is you have a great sense of humor. And the sense of humor matters for middle school because it could be a really trying time as kids go through like that need to work out who they are or get a sense of who they are. And if you can't laugh at certain situations in our roles, then to me, the job gets much harder to do, which is why to be an effective middle school educator or administrator or support staff, whatever the role would be, if you don't have a sense of humor, that job gets exponentially harder to do. Do you agree with that?
I fully agree. And I will make fun of myself. If I do something like, and I'll look at the students like, oh my gosh, and they'll all start to laugh. But no, I agree. Yeah, I don't mind being a little goofy if it breaks the ice and forms a bond with students. Yep.
Tell me about a student or a moment that reminded you why you do this work. Because what you're doing is important. And for anyone listening, I want to make sure they understand that it's one of the most thankless jobs in the district is being the one that's on the front line, supporting those that have really special needs that we have to honor and adhere to. And so some of those stories are some of those valuable ones you'll hear in education is coming from the assistants that are there helping and carrying out the work that needs to be done. So I'm interested in what your story would be.
There are a lot of them. I love the aha moments when sitting with a student going over something and like, oh, that's why we went into depression and that was the lead up. Oh, now I get this, the atom structures, but I think one of the most memorable moments was I was at Kipling working with the littles, and there was a little boy who struggling so much with reading, and he was already second grade. And we sat, and at one point I was like, don't say anything, don't say anything, let him do this. And it was slow going, and he had sounding out to do and phonetics, but he finished the little book all on his own. And when he was done, he looked up at me and I said, do you realize I didn't say a word? You read every word in that book all by yourself. And I thought he was going to start to cry. His little freckles and his smile got so big. And it was so sweet. And I'm like, I dig this stuff.
That's why we do this work.
Yes.
Those moments are the
Yes.
ones that matter. If you could give advice to your younger self on your first day back when you said you started at Kipling or Walden?
Walden.
When you started at Walden, what would it be? What would you tell yourself now that you knew then?
I would have probably should have started full time. But I was an at-home mom for many years.
Yep.
I think I would have tried to become more active in school activities, like just being part of the classroom and being more involved with staff, because I think I kind of shied away from everything.
in your opinion, what makes this school, Shepherd, or the district a special place to work? What would you want people to know about Deerfield?
I This district has a lot of wonderful, wonderful children, including that mine were part of it. Um, Great kids and the parents in this district. I cannot tell you how generous our PTSO is at Shepherd, and I've heard it from other schools. Parents, they're in their direction. They want to be a part of their children's education. And I think we've got some very supportive administrators. They want us to succeed. They want the schools to succeed, the students to succeed. So I think that whole ball of wax makes it very special to be in 109.
Yeah. Well, that's the last question I have for you. Now, you get to do what we call the deep dive with Dale, which is you get to ask me a question or a couple questions if that's your fancy that you think members of the school district would want to know, or that you want to know, or the community would want to know. What's your deep dive with Dale question?
All right. When we were in one of our meetings and I saw your lamp on your desk, when did you get started in doing your steampunk designs? And people are going to have to look that up.
Yep.
If you might not know, it's very cool art form.
So I am very introverted. I don't think most people know that, but I have a very creative side to how I separate work from my own mental well-being. And to that end, my father was a master carpenter, so I was basically manual labor for him for a long time, but learned a lot of what you would call handyman techniques and the ability to break things down, put them back together. I can tear apart a carburetor on a motorcycle and rebuild it. I can build furniture. I can wire electricity. I saw this like artistic style called steampunk. So if the listeners are unaware, it really is that futuristic,
Cool.
but it pulls like random mechanical pieces together and you have to find a way to make that all work. So you're talking conduit fittings for electrical pipe fittings and things like that. And so if you look at the picture I'll put up on the screen here, I'll show you a picture of my lamp that sits on my desk that I made, and I get a lot of compliments on it, but I love it
Beautiful.
because it's really harnesses my inner creative side.
Are you considering possibly doing like
Yes, absolutely. It'll be like the thing that I really want to embrace. So, I mean, it's old hat at this point, but things like cutting boards, love making them, geometric cutting boards, those big, heavy, I've made a couple, want to do more of them. Lamps and steampunk things like that, love it. Building furniture. So all those is what I'm chasing in retirement. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay, when you get your own Etsy site, you're gonna have to share with me.
Absolutely. I will. All right, so that brings us to the end of this. But
Shepherd.
I have to share with you my gift to thank you for your time. So I now present you with
Got a biggie.
with the I pronounce it Ferrero Rocher. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Let's show them to the camera here. This is her preferred candy of choice. I'm gonna rate this on Dale's Quality Candy Index.
Have you eaten one?
I have, but I'm gonna tell you my story on these. Okay. When I was growing up, these were forbidden for the Fisher children to have. So I never ate one of these until I was probably in my late 20s.
I'm so sorry.
I
You were
find them
deprived.
Yes, I find them delicious, but to me, those that were eating these, because I grew up very blue collar. So there are three things that define those that had and those that had not. Did you have a garage fridge? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
If
yes.
you had a garage fridge, that meant you had two refrigerators
Yep.
and you were living on a different plane than where I live. Second, Viennetta ice cream. If you remember the commercials, that
Oh,
loaf of
yes,
ice cream,
the
I've
yes,
never met anyone that actually was able to eat that, but as kids, that
yes.
commercial was
It was
nonstop.
like layers.
Yes.
Yes.
You can't even find it now. I've told my wife, like, that to me was high living if you had Viennetta, but obviously not accurate. And the third were these, because this was a fancy gold wrapped candy that I never ate, and my mom would have killed us if we touched hers. She loves these. So I present them to you
Yeah.
as a thank you for everything.
Thank you. And I'm not sharing.
Well, that wraps up our ride with the amazing Robin Tortorella, someone who's been lifting up students and staff at Shepherd for more than 2 decades with patience, humor, and expertise. Robin reflects the very best of what HR in the Car is all about, celebrating the people who quietly make the biggest difference. That is you in a nutshell, or in a tightly wrapped Ferrero Rocher.
A golden ball.
So thank you for joining us. Until next time, keep building great culture, showing appreciation, and recognizing the heroes who help our DPS 109 students shine. Truly, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming along for the ride with HR in the Car, where stories drive purpose.